Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. Also welcome to my September 2024 wrap-up. September was a bad reading month for me because I just couldn't move forward with any book that I picked up. I finished 6 books in all. One of them was a book that I had started in March for Drama Queenathon 2024, March 2024, and I finally finished it in September. Although at this point in time, I'm like, was that such an achievement? Because everything that came after sort of blurs this particular thing, which I'm really proud of for that. I mean, the blurring is not what I'm proud of. The fact that I finished that book and I actually liked it, I loved it, is the fact that I'm proud of. Anyway, so I've read 6 books, like I've mentioned before. Since there are just 6 books, let's get right into this September 2024 wrap-up, and let me share with you all the books that I read last month. Oh, it was bad reading wise, like hazy bad. So the first book that I read in the month was something that I was proud of finishing well in advance. All I can tell you is that it is a poetry collection and I got an arc from NetGalley, and I'm so happy to have gotten that. I'm so grateful to have gotten and read that. I'll probably talk about it in my next wrap up, so stay tuned. Next was the book that I had started in March and finally finished in September, and that was Detransition Baby by Tori Peters, and this is a fantastic book. This is about Reese and Amy, but Amy is someone who has detransitioned and now goes by the name Ames, and he is now in a relationship with a cis woman called Katrina, and they are about to have a baby. And now Ames, who used to be in a relationship with Reese, is now calling her to ask her if she would like to be a mother, and how this whole trio deals with this development and will they be able to form an unconventional family of sorts is what this book is all about. And that is the bare bones, not even the bare bones. It's just a small part of what this book is actually about, because it follows Reese, who is constantly in self-deprecating, self-destructive mode, but she also comes across as a strong-willed woman. And then there's Ames, who thought he was infertile after he detransitioned, but he began a relationship with his boss. Katrina is his boss. Reese, who is a transgender woman, Ames, who has detransitioned, and Katrina, who is a cis woman. And what goes on in these people's minds, how society's rules affect every single one of them. We see an insight into Reese's thinking, and we see an insight into her community and her friends and her relationship with them, and we see what Ames is thinking, what Amy used to think and what Ames is now thinking, what Katrina feels as a mixed race woman. And it's a lot. There's misogyny, there's transphobia, and how these characters deal with them is what this book is all about. And it goes in a roundabout way, but it is still great writing. It is still immersive writing. You have to be there when you're reading this book. If you are there, if you are giving it your all, then you will take away so much from this book I can't even begin to express. Next was a children's classic, and that book was The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This follows the main character, Mary Lennox, who was born in India and who grew up in India, but after I think it was cholera outbreak, leaves her parents dead and nobody to care for her. She is sent to her uncle who lives in the Yorkshire Moors. She is now at Misselthwaite Manor, and now she has a lot of rules that she needs to obey. Like, she cannot go to this place in the house, she cannot go to that particular section of the garden. Everything else is open. And one day on her strolls or something, she realizes, or she finds, a secret garden, and what secrets does this secret garden hold about itself, as well as about the people in the manor, as well as about the manor itself, is what this whole book is about. And it is fun, it is childlike, it is adventurous in its own way, it is uplifting, it's heartwarming, and a lot of other things. But I must say that this book is not kind to Indian people, and it sort of raised my hackles a little. But then again, the author also refers to the main character as a selfish little pig and ugly little fretful thing or something like that. So I'm like, okay, the treatment is a little uniform. But then again, I can't even... Okay, so there's a lot of confusion about where I am when it comes to this book. But it's still fun if you want to keep in mind that this was written years and years ago. I don't even remember when it was published. Long ago, when all of this kind of writing was normalized. But I'm still like, did you have to? Huh? Next was another poetry collection called Writer's Guilt by Akhila Krishna, and this has a collection of poems that dig so deep into the human psyche, and they dig so deep into society and a woman's feelings and so much more. They tell a story in its own self. All of these are well written, but especially some of these will bring tears to your eyes. That's exactly what happened with me. I read these poems, reread them, and I had to like hold myself back from just straight up bawling because of the emotions that these poems invoked. I related to some of them, but there are also some others that, though overall give a feeling of being well written, they feel like they've been hastily put together. It feels like a bit of an alphabet aerobics kind of thing going on, like intentionally big words and all that. But that doesn't take away from the fact that these poems are all impactful in their own ways. So if you're looking for a poetry collection by an Indian poet, then this is one that you should definitely check out. I leave the link to the Amazon page in the description box below. Please go check it out. It's great. Next was Daydream, the third in the Maple Hill series by Hannah Grace, and this is about Henry and Hallie. Henry appears in the first two books, and he is the sweet character who everybody loves. Henry is the captain of the ice hockey team, but he is struggling with coming to terms with being a captain because he didn't even want to be captain, and now the pressure of it all is coming to sit on his shoulders, and he is wondering how he is going to make it through this year of college. Enter Hallie, who is sort of top of class academically, and she loves reading books, she loves reading romance books, and she runs book clubs and the like and all of that. Now when she sees that Henry is struggling, she offers to help. Now there's private tutoring and all of that going on, but there's also the fact that Hallie is writing a book. She needs to write a book to submit to a competition somewhere, and Henry has promised to help her give new experiences for that. But how is this going to go? Like, where is this leading? I think we all know where it is leading, but this book is heavier than Icebreaker and Wildfire, and I don't mean that in a physical sense. I mean that in the way that this book, there's so much of loneliness, Hallie and Henry just being scared, that fear of being hurt, and I don't want to tropify it, so I'm not going to do that. But this is a well-written exploration of these two characters. When these two personalities come together, how they are going to work, or are they going to work, what exactly is going to happen, is what this book is all about. And it is well written, it is flowy, it is lovely. I mean, it is steamy also, but I felt like this is not at the level of Icebreaker and Wildfire kind of writing. Like, it is good because the way the author explores these topics, explores these issues, is amazing, but somehow the writing feels a little dragged and stretchy and repetitive. Other than that, I had no issues with this book, and I really enjoyed this. So if you don't mind reading steamy scenes, quite a few steamy scenes in fact, then this is one that I would definitely recommend that you pick up. It's a great romance with a focus on the mental health of the characters. And last but not the least was Before We Forget Kindness by Toshikazu Kawaguchi and translated from the Japanese into English by Jeffrey Trusselot. And this is the 5th in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, and this is equally heartwarming and lovely. I mean, it's not as good as the first or the third books, but in this book we follow again 4 people who want to travel back to the past. So they go to Cafe Funicula, and there they are told the rules about how they can only sit at one table, and they have about 15 to 20 minutes and they cannot meet anyone who hasn't been to the cafe and all that sort of thing. Add to these stories the point that there is kindness involved. Every single one of these people has kindness in their hearts, and they want to go back in time because they have realized that they need to share this kindness with the people that it is intended for. So it is lovely. It is a quick read. It's like 200 pages or something, and it is a very quick read, especially because you know all the rules. So when the characters are telling the rules to these people, you're like, yes, I know, move on. But then again, I have a feeling that this series, all of the 5 books in this series, they keep mentioning this because maybe it is because you can pick any book in between and start reading without knowing what comes in the previous books. You don't exactly have to read them in an order. So any story that you pick, you're going to read it and learn more about Funicula and all the rules of time travel and everything. Also, numbers 1, 3 and 5 have worked for me. 2 and 4 have not matched that level. So those, plus the ebooks that I mentioned, like there were only 2, total 6 in all, but those were the books that I read in September 2024. Which of these books have you read? Which ones do you want to read? What books did you read in September? Did you find any favorites? Did you find any least favorites? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.